interested in dark romance, dark thrillers, and dark smut, then you probably will enjoy this book. However, if your answer was no to any of those points, then this book probably isn't for you. And please don't forget to read the trigger warnings before you choose to read it. Hi, my name is Terry Westwell and welcome back to Panic at the Book Club. This week we'll be discussing Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton. If you'd like to take part in this online book club, you can find out more information on how via the channel's intro video. We list the next 4 books down below and on TikTok along with the discussion dates. That way you can choose the genre that best suits you and the best time frame to read it in. We also accept your book feedback in a wide manner of ways. Comment your thoughts below a video, send a voice note, or even send me a short video clip of you discussing the book. Alternatively, you could just send me a direct message on Instagram. Adeline is a successful author and a master of words, manipulating the emotions of anyone who will let her. Through her words, she can make them hurt, laugh, or even cry, but her words seem to have no effect on him, her stalker. As she uncovers the dark secrets of her new home, Adeline navigates her complicated feelings towards her shadow. He didn't mean to fall in love, but now that he has, he can't stay away. Mesmerized by her eyes, her smile, even the way she moves, he'll continue to watch and wait until he can make her his. Just your friendly spoiler alert that if you haven't read this book yet, I would suggest going doing that first, because beyond this point, there will definitely be spoilers. But if you are contemplating reading this book, please make sure that you do read the trigger warnings first, as it might not be for you. The chapters could be pretty long at times, being more like a 20-minute plus read rather than my usually preferred 10-minute read before bed. However, it didn't actually impact how much I enjoyed reading this book, and I did really like seeing those glimpses of Gigi's diary at the end of every chapter. I'm not really sure where to start with this book. I'm not sure what I was expecting. I know that I was told it was a dark romance, and I even checked out the trigger warnings, but everything about this book was dark. The romance was dark, the smut was dark, and even the general narrative outside of the romance was dark. But in all seriousness, it was nice having a genuinely gripping narrative outside of that dark romance. It was primarily a dark romance, but it was kind of a thriller too. It wasn't all about their relationship. Trying to figure out what happened to Adeline's grandmother and following Zaid as he goes undercover to take down a dangerous and just outright horrible organisation had me gripped. Personally, I was more invested in the narrative than I was the smut scenes, which I did feel like at times went on a little bit too long. So now that Adeline and Zaid have gotten to a point in their very complicated relationship, I'm hoping that in the next book it does focus a lot more on the organisation and the trafficking. Adeline's character certainly had me laughing at times, and despite the very dark theme throughout this book, she could be really relatable as well. For the most part, she was an ordinary woman with a great sense of humour who just enjoyed having the occasional drink with her best friend, who, FYI, had her head screwed on for most of this book, but I'm low-key suspicious of. But to be fair, with an ending like that, with 2 endings like that, it's hard not to be suspicious of everything. Adeline was a pretty stereotypical female character in the helpless, kind of making stupid decisions sort of way. So I really hope she uses some more of her intelligence and strengths in the next book. I like how the chapters were all from Adeline's and Zaid's perspective. I think, considering how dark some of the scenes were, it was definitely required to get the author's intended picture. If it wasn't from both of their perspectives, I'm not sure Zaid would have come across as such a lovable character. I mean, like many dark romance books, it is one of those that just it doesn't translate well in real life at all. Like there are many examples, but just for starters, I'm not sure I would have taken finding a pair of severed hands on my doorstep quite as calmly as they did in this book. Zaid is a walking red flag, covered in even more red flags. But again, this is the book world, not the real world, and somehow he's a very lovable character. In a very, I'm probably damaged for liking him sort of way. He's like this head vigilante, fighting to take down trafficking, but has a more than problematic approach to his own relationships. It's so overdramatic, over the top, and unrealistic. But I mean that with absolutely zero judgment because I really did enjoy this book. But if you're looking for something a little bit more plausible and realistic, then this probably isn't for you. But damn, those cliffhangers. As for would I recommend the book? Absolutely. Although I don't have anybody in my immediate life that I would recommend it to, primarily because my close friends aren't really interested in romance or smut. But if you are interested in dark romance, dark thrillers, and dark smut, then you probably will enjoy this book. However, if your answer was no to any of those points, then this book probably isn't for you. And please don't forget to read the trigger warnings before you choose to read it. If any part of you does doubt reading this book, especially because of the trigger warnings, my advice would be to not read it. It can absolutely be triggering for someone, and if you are interested in reading dark romance, this probably shouldn't be the gateway book into this genre. It is pretty graphic, and despite enjoying the overall premise and the narrative, I can't in any way, shape, or form condone pretty much anything that happens in this book. If you already are a fan of dark romance and know pretty much what you might expect, then by all means give this book a try. I really enjoyed it, and I will definitely be reading the second book over the holidays. Those cliffhangers were just too good not to. I can easily see why this book had such mixed reviews. People seem to either really love it or really hate it. But let me know what you thought. Did you enjoy the book? Next week, there'll be no Panic at the Book Club. However, we'll be kicking off the new year on the 2nd of January with the Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. So don't forget to get your comments and thoughts in by Monday, the 1st of January at the latest to be a part of the discussion. You can now do this on YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. The following week, we'll be discussing Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. But don't forget, if you do need a little bit longer to read a book, we do now list the next 4 books down below and on TikTok, along with the discussion dates. That way, you can choose the genre that best suits you and the best time frame to read it in. Thank you all for joining, and if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It always means a lot, and I will see you all after the holidays. Bye.